Good afternoon, guys. I don't know if I'm audible enough. Can we all hear me? Okay, Elijah, thank you. Who again can also hear me? My name is actually Stephen. Yeah, okay, Mafat Adawis. My name is Stephen Wabwezi. I'll be standing in for Francisca. She's actually down. Hopefully by next week, she will join us fully. So, you guys know why we're here today about the powerhouse. But before we commence, I want to share my screen and tell you guys what we are all about here at DAELITE. So I will start sharing my screen shortly. Please hold on. Can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Great. Wonderful. Okay, here at I'm about to commence right now. Uh, Let me tell you people a little bit of what DAELITE is all about. So let me start with who we are. We are a community of highly skilled data analysts who have gained expertise and mastery in the technical and leadership skills needed to thrive in the data analytic industry. We are focused on mentoring aspiring data professionals who want to gain mastery in the data analytics tools, techniques, and technology. We advocate the need for data literacy, recognizing it as a fundamental skill set that empowers individuals across all disciplines. And then we'll have different training modules here in DAELITE. The DAELITE has 5 training modules, which spans for a year. So from January 1st to December ending, that's our own calendar here. So each training module is for different stages in your data analytic journey. The first module we'll have here is the Excel Academy for the beginners in data analytics. So we all know that for you to begin to learn anything that has to do with Excel, you must be willing to learn. So willingness to learn is the first stage. Then, but for us here, the Excel Academy begins with the data analytic Excel. The second stage is the Power BI Academy for intermediate data analyst. The third one is the Tableau Academy for intermediate data analyst too. Then the fourth one is the SQL Academy for intermediate data analyst. So as you can see, we are moving from one stage to another. It's a continuous progress. Then the fifth stage is the Python Academy for advanced data analyst. So whichever category you find yourself, we want to let you know that we are actually equipped to train you, to mentor you, and then to make you more proficient, moving you from one level that you currently are to the next level. I don't want to bore you down with the breakdown of the training modules, but for the Excel class, we normally begin from January 14th, 2024. That's when we started the first cohort. Right now, we are in the second cohort this year already. So the Excel class usually span for a period of 4 weeks. That's in a month. Before now, it used to be 15,000 naira. But for now, we've actually done an upward review of the prices. So I'm going to leave that one out for now. Then the Power BI usually start from 21st of January 2024. And it spans for 8 weeks. Because of the critical nature of Power BI, we don't normally do Power BI for 4 weeks. We do an intensive class of 8 weeks, which is 2 months. Then the Tableau Academy starts from 4th of February 2024, which we've already commenced, and it spans for a period of 8 weeks too. The SQL commenced similar period, 4th of February also spans for a period of 8 weeks. Then the Python is 25th of February and also spans for a period of 8 weeks. We are not only attending the DAELITE classes and then we will not leave you empty-handed. At the end of the day, we'll always ensure that we test your proficiency via various quiz, either via quiz, assignments, and then the classwork. So at the end of the day, for those people that met our criteria, they will also gain certification. That's upon the successful completion of our comprehensive training modules. Our commitment extends beyond the classroom. So we are not only here to appease you in terms of the classroom, we also give you the confidence and then the certification to also show that you actually attended a worthwhile program with us. We provide hands-on guidance on the articulating and documenting your project work effectively in a compelling portfolio. Our aim is to empower you to showcase your proficiency in data analytics, to recruit with confidence, ensuring that your skills and accomplishments align with the requirements of the data analytic industry. So we are not only training you so that you just get this certificate, but we are actually going to train you so that you'll be able to have that confidence whereby anytime you are presented with a data, you'll be able to tackle that data in a professional manner and get the desired result that is going to be presentable and be used by the general public. So we also, every now and then, we also organize what we call a soft skill. That's at Data Analytics Elite. We recognize that beyond getting technically trained in data analytics, it is important to build soft skills needed to thrive as a data analyst. That's why we host a dedicated forum themed Building Your Soft Skill as a Data Professional, which takes place every third Sunday of the month from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So first, I want to let you know that this soft skill program that we normally organize every third Sunday of the month from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. is actually a free program. Every now and then we invite specialists, we invite experts in this soft skill training acquisition to come and talk to us on the need for us to not only getting the necessary skill and tools for you to deal with data, we also need other soft skill to make you an all-rounder in terms of your employment abilities. So when you join this community, we also provide you with a platform for you to acquire this soft skill training. Then at the bottom here, we'll talk about the steps. Take the first steps towards your data analytics journey. So after this program, I also hope that some of you or most of you will also join this particular class so that you take a next step and a bold step towards becoming more proficient in your data analytic journey. So to sign up to join the DAELITES community via the link below. The link below is captured here. So I'm going to share a screenshot at the end of this class. Okay. I don't know if anybody has any question at all. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Yeah,
Please,
Ahmed,
you
do you
can
have any question?
unmute.
I'm on mute. I am not.
No, no,
Wow.
no. I mean, people can talk. If they have any question, and I
Yes,
would like
that's
to know very quickly: are you guys all on the WhatsApp platform? Because this class is for 2 Sundays, so I'd like to know if every one of you is on the WhatsApp platform. So if you're not on the WhatsApp platform, please go to the chat box and put it that I am not on the WhatsApp platform,
so
so
we
that
can
I can
quickly add.
send the link to join the group. But aside that, Stephen, you can go on.
Okay, thank you very much, Ire. So you guys have heard Iremide. If you know you are not on the if you know you are not on the WhatsApp platform, please kindly go to the chat box and drop that you are not on the WhatsApp platform. She's going to drop the link right now so that we all could join. because this program is going to last for 2 weeks. So belonging in that WhatsApp platform is going to help you to communicate with your mentors and facilitators as well as your other colleagues too, so that you can gain more clarification. I'm looking at nobody has dropped. So I don't know. Does that mean that everybody is on the platform? Okay. Well, before we commence fully, I don't know, Thomasin, are you here? Our facilitator.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah,
I'm
good
here.
afternoon. Thank you. Do you have anything? Big man. I recognize you by your face. I just remembered now. I don't know if you have anything
Oh,
to tell the class before we go ahead with the quiz, because I will be having a quiz proper before the class will commence fully. So I hope you guys are ready for the quiz. So, Thomasin, please, do you have anything you have to tell us before we go ahead? Let me get set for the quiz. Thank you.
all right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon, and uh, I believe we are set to learn something today, and it's going to be an interesting experience. What we're about to talk about is the Power Apps, how to use the Power Apps to build low-code apps for business solutions. So it's going to be like Stephen had said, it's going to span 2 weeks. This first week, we are going to look at the rudiment, the theoretical part, and then as time permits, we'll get to start the building process. And then next week, we'll complete building and then customization, and then how to publish and deploy the app to be used in organizations. So, like Nika asked earlier, this class is focused on Canvas app. So, of course, in the course of the discussion, you get to know the different other types of apps that we can work on with Canvas app. But for this session, we are only focusing on the Canvas app. So, get settled, relax, get your pen, get your paper, put on your thinking caps, and let's get to learn this afternoon. Thank you for having me. I look forward to an experience and an exciting engagement with us this afternoon. All right, so Stephen, you can have the floor. Stephen, unmute yourself.
Sorry. Thank you very much. I just dropped the quiz now on the chat box. Please, if you can see it, kindly indicate. Let me know. I just drop it now. Remember, if you joined after I drop it, you might not be able to see it. So if you cannot see it, still let me know so that I can copy it and paste it. I'll need all of us to start this quiz at the same time, and then I need everybody to also partake in it. It's very, very important that we test ourselves. Okay. So please, if you can see the quiz, kindly indicate. Just okay. Elijah. Okay. Wow. Let me see. Who again? We have 18 people on call. So Samuel, can you see the quiz? Taiwo. Okay. Okay. Good. Who again? Is anybody not seeing the quiz? Because I would like to commence in the next 30 seconds. Farouk, do you have anything you want to say? Okay, let me copy the quiz again and drop it down. I just saw one or two people joined. So guys, are we ready for the quiz? Are we ready for the quiz? Samuel, Taiwo, are we ready for the quiz? Farouk, are we ready? Said we are ready as beginners. Yeah, I understand. So, let me see. Please, you guys should stop leaving. You guys should stop leaving the platform, please. Samuel, can you hear me? Hello, Samuel. Okay. Yes, I'm getting okay, ready, sir. Hear me. Okay. Since we are ready. Okay. Let me start sharing my screen.
My check, Steven. Someone hand is raised. Taiwo, your hand is raised.
Yes, I've been asking since. Do you have a question?
Okay, I think his hand is down now. Please,
Yeah.
are we? How many people are in the quiz? Because we have 27 people here.
Yes, let me open it and see and be sure how many people have on the quiz. I have 10 people.
Yes, what? Yes, what?
We rounding up. Rounding up. Rounding up. I will be ending the video. Guys, you have 30 seconds to round up.
Steven, can you give them like 2 more minutes for those that are just joining? 2 more minutes.
Okay.
2 more minutes, please. If you are joining the quiz, do that now.
Okay, thank you.
Please, we have 1 more minute left. Once it's
Yeah,
3:27.
yeah, I'm ending it by 3:27. Hey.
Can we see our winners?
Yes, I'm going to share it now. I don't know what happened. Thank you. Let me share a screenshot. Um, hold on.
Okay, congratulations to everyone that did the quiz. Steven,
Yes,
you
let
can
me.
just share it to the group so that we
Okay
don't
then.
waste too much time. But I'm sure they know them. I think I saw Tommy and I saw 2 other people at the
I'm
top.
not. Elijah is the first. Forget about.
Eli,
Elijah is number one. Forget about
wow,
Tomisi. Tomisi is the facilitator, so he is not part of the quiz. He's not part of it.
wow,
Let me share it.
congratulations, Elijah. And who is the second?
The second is okay. I think Miriam came third. Miriam came
Great,
third.
great. Well done, well done, well done. And who is the fourth? We should remove Tommy.
I'm sharing. Let me see. So we have Elijah first. Somebody registered with M. Please, that's why it's very, very good. It's very important for you to have your full name there. So no, there's the first letter M. I don't know who that person is. Then the third person here is Hamed. Then Miriam. Miriam is number 4. Ahmed is number 3. Miriam is number 4.
Wow, well done, well done, well done, well done, well
Well
done.
done, guys. I'm going to
Amazing.
join the
Yeah.
platform. Thank you. Let me equally
All
join the
right.
platform so I can share.
All right, that's fine. You can share to the group. I'll add it to the group so that I can share.
Okay.
I guess the next thing is for Tomisin to come up. Now is the
Yeah.
time for Fasita to come up. So Tomisin, you have the floor. Let me disappear for you to appear.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm yielding
All
the floor
right.
to you.
Good evening once again, everyone. We are starting this on high energy. How many of us are excited to be here this afternoon? If you're excited to be here this afternoon, let me see your emoji. Yeah, Elijah, I can feel your energy. Yeah, yes. Pastor Moyo, you're welcome. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning from wherever you are joining this call this Sunday. This Sunday, it's a great pleasure to facilitate this session. Just go straight away to share my screen so that we can get to start. Just a moment. Yeah, please confirm you can see my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen. All right, so once again, good afternoon. We are here gathered together this Sunday afternoon to learn on the platform of Data Analytics Elite Global Limited. They are the ones that have made it possible for us to gather together this afternoon tonight to learn. And we are gathered on the Power Platform Academy. If you were here when Stephen was introducing Data Analytics Elite Global, you heard that there are about 5 different academies. The Excel Academy, the Power BI Academy, the Tableau Academy, SQL Academy, Python Academy, and then now we have the Power Platform Academy. And so this afternoon, we are going to take a dive into how to build and customize a Canvas app using the Microsoft Power Platform. So this is what we are doing today. We are trying to build an app that can be deployed for business solutions that can be used for different use case. So if you've had or you have used the Power Platform before, can you signify if you have interacted with the Power Apps before? Can you please signify? Let me see. Let me know my audience. All right, I'm watching. Anybody? You have interacted? Yeah, okay, Elijah. Yes. So this session is going to take 2 weeks. Today and then next week Sunday. So without wasting much time, I'll just go straight into what we have for today. So like I said, we are looking at the topic building and customization of a Canvas app using Microsoft Power Apps. Microsoft Power Apps. So a very quick introduction. Who is Oluwatomisin? By grace of God, I am a learning and development expert. I have close to a decade experience facilitating learning and development in the higher education space. In the education space, I've been on that path for a while. And then just about 2 years or thereabout, I transitioned or tried to transition into tech. And then I found love with data I fell in love with data. So now I also work as a business intelligence and a data analyst, and I'm a low-code app developer, and that is why I'm here this afternoon to facilitate this session. And then I'm a lover of everything Power Platform, everything the Microsoft has churned out that is placed on the Microsoft Power Platform. I'm in love with them. I just love the fact that you can be a citizen, and then from the comfort of your home, you can actually develop design solutions that can be deployed for business cases. And then you don't have to be learn all the technical coding aspects before you can do all of that. It's just simple logic and then an idea of computer, then you're good to go. And then I'm a community leader. I've been opportune to lead different communities at different times, volunteering for different projects, different programs, working with different international and national organizations on different platforms. So these are just a few about who I am. And yes, I have the experience to facilitate today's session. Yeah, of course, you understand that learning is a journey. We keep learning, we keep growing, we keep discovering new things. New things keep coming out every day. So while I'm facilitating this session, I am also learning. So we are here this afternoon to unlearn, relearn, and then learn. Just improve ourselves and then get better as individuals. So very quickly, what are the objectives for today's session? Number one, we're going to try to understand Power Apps, what is Power Apps all about, and then we'll understand how the Power Apps can be deployed to make business more efficient. How can we use technology? I was saying somewhere that any solution you come up with today or come up with now that does not have an element of technology imputed into it, it is dead on arrival. Any solution you are churning out or you are trying to talk about that does not have an element of technology is already dead on arrival. If you are trying to start a business or trying to start anything and you are not factoring technology into it from the onset, then you're already setting yourself up for failure. So technology has come to stay. We cannot do without it. We just need to understand how to deploy it and then how to make our work more efficient as a people and as individuals. Then we'll also go to understand the different types of apps that can be built with the Power App. And then after, we'll go to explore the Power App Studio, try to understand what the interface of the Power Apps looks like, so that you know where to go to when you need to do what. So we go to explore the Power App Studio. And once we are done with that, we'll then go on to try to create our app, our first app from data using an Excel workbook and a SharePoint list. And if time permits, we'll also look at other things, but these are just a few of the things I intend to achieve for this session. So like I said, it's a 2 sessions, one this week, and then the other one will be next week. So I will see how time permit us to go on. So can somebody read this? Do you get this is supposed to be a joke anyway. So who can tell us, what do you understand about this? What does this statement, what does it communicate to you?
As a power
Anyone that has insight from this statement, you can unmute yourself and just say something. Unmute and say something. It's supposed to be engaging and interactive. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, Elijah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Good afternoon. I think you're trying to bring up all of the um, various applications on the Power Platform together as a joke.
Yeah, that's it. A round of applause for Elijah. All right, so yes, the Power Apps is just one of the tools that is available on the Microsoft Power Platform. So as you're going to see, so the Power Platform is a very big platform that has been created by Microsoft for business solutions. And so it has a number of tools that can work alone and can also work together. So like the joke here says, as a power user, when you get on the platform, your apps will automatically display BI insights on the pages for stakeholders to take informed decisions for the business. So now everything here is just talking about the components of the Power Platform. So we have the Microsoft Power Platform. On the Microsoft Power Platform, you have the Power Apps, you have the Power Automate, you have the Power BI, which I know most of us we are conversant with, and then we have the Power Pages. So what is the Power Platform? So I said here that the Power Platform is an intuitive and a collaborative platform from Microsoft. It's a very dynamic platform that Microsoft has come up with to create solutions to different business use cases. And the interesting thing about it is that all the tools on this platform are low-code tools. So which means you don't necessarily have to know how to write code. You don't necessarily know how to know all the technical jargons before you can use all of the tools. So like I said, you can use the tools standing alone, although it becomes more robust, more interesting when you're able to use the tools together. So it includes low-code tools to quickly automate processes, build apps, and other useful solutions for various business use cases. So you have on the Microsoft Power Platform, there are 5 major tools, although one of them now has been modified to be the Microsoft Copilot Studio, but we'll talk about that. So we have the Power BI, which I know most of us might be conversant with. And the Power BI is used for business analytics. So you have a data, you want to analyze the data, you want to gain insights from data, and then you want to create interesting visualizations and reports that organizations can look at, and then from a glance, they can gain insight, and then that can help them to make informed decisions. Then you're talking about the Power BI. Now, the Power Apps, on the other hand, is a low-code app development platform where you can use simple tools, simple logic to build apps, and then the app can be deployed to automate processes and then turn manual activities within the business into their digital solutions. So you have the Power Apps for app development. Then you have the Power Automate. Now the Power Automate is used for business process automation. So there are things that we do in business that happens manually that you need to go from point A to point B to point C, and then you are doing all of them by yourself. With the Power Automate, you can actually, with just a click, all of those things can be done. You create what we call a flow. You just create a flow, and then you can create the flow standing alone, or you can create a flow within a Power App. And then once that is done, your processes are automated. It brings about productivity. You have reduction in time for getting things done and what have you. Then the next one is the Power Virtual Agent. Now, this is intelligent chatbot, which if you have gone on some website, you see is something popping up. What can we do for you? How can I answer your question? How can I help you? Now, all of those things are built by the virtual agent. Although this now have been now modified into the Microsoft Copilot Studio, which is now again being attached to different Microsoft products. So you now have the Copilot with Power Automate, you have Copilot with Power Apps, you have Copilot with Power BI, you have Copilot on Microsoft 365, you have Copilot on Teams. So now Copilot is now, which is AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, it's now incorporated in many of the products from Microsoft. Then you have the Power Pages. And the Power Pages is used to build websites, external facing websites that customers, stakeholders, partners can interact with as a business. And then they can get to information, they can send you messages that you can interact with, all with the intention of making business more proficient and more effective. Now, all of these platforms and these tools you can be used, like I said, on Microsoft 365. They can be used on Azure. They can be used on Dynamics 365. And the beautiful thing again is that these tools can work with different data connectors. So you can connect your Power BI to different data connectors where you can extract data and then you can work to analyze. You can connect your Power Apps to different data connectors. You can Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, Power Pages can be connected to different connectors that can be used for business processes. Then you have the AI Builder, which is also used to build artificial intelligence project or tools that can be incorporated into your Power Platform tools. And then you have a very big one, the Dataverse. So I'm going to talk about this as we move on. So the Dataverse is like the Microsoft database, which you can use to store data. And then from the Dataverse, you can generate different solutions that can cut across the different tools on the Power Platform. So this is everything about the Power Platform, the BI, the apps, the Automate, the virtual agent, and then the Power Pages. So like I said, our focus for today's consideration and conversation is going to be on the Power Apps. So quickly, we'll just get to talk about what the Power Apps is. So the Power App is a suite of apps, services, and connectors that let you create custom business apps without coding. So with the Power App, when you get to the Power App Studio, you will see the different features, the different tools that have been incorporated into the Power App Studio, which helps you to be able to create business apps. You just need to think of a problem and then think about the possible solution. How can you create an app to solve that particular problem? Once you're able to identify the problem and you understand the solution that you need, then you can sit down to use the Power Apps to produce or to develop a business app without necessarily consulting a professional app developer. So as a business person, as a citizen, you can actually develop an app by yourself. So the Power Apps provides a rapid development environment where you can build apps according to your business needs. So it is your need that determines what app you will develop and the features that you will input into the app development. And with the Power Apps, you can build professional solutions using AI-powered development, pre-built templates, connectors, and hundreds of data sources and systems. So your data source, whether you're using whatever data source you are using currently for your business, whether it's SQL, Excel, SharePoint, whatever data source you are using currently, you can actually bring the data you have already and then connect it to the Power Apps. And then using that data, you can build an app to digitalize whatever processes or whatever activities that have been going on in your business that has been manual, right? So it helps you to build the app, and then you also have the opportunity of using artificial intelligence. Just like I said, identify the problem, know what the solution should be, and then you can then use Power Apps to develop the right app. You can solve countless business problems with Power Apps, whether it's finance, sales, marketing, human resources, operations, or frontline workers. You know, maybe your business involves going to the field, and when your workers go to the field, they have to keep records on paper, keep different records on paper. You can actually crash everything that is on paper. You can put it together and use it to design an app that your staff can use when they go to the field. All right. And so that is the beauty of Power Apps. Now, the best thing about Power Apps is that you don't need coding experience to begin using it. You don't need coding experience to begin using it. So like I said, just connect your app to data as the systems you're already using. So if you have a system you're using already, you don't need to create a new system. All you need to do is just connect that system to the Power Apps, and then with that, you can create apps, forms, and workflows without writing code. All right? So you can create the apps, can form the workflow without writing code. And the beautiful thing again is that the apps that you create can be used on both the web and mobile. So you can use it on mobile phones, you can use it on tablets, you can use it on your laptops, on your desktop, wherever your organization have stored your data or whatever, you can use the Power Apps that you have developed. So this is just a picture depicting that Power Apps can be used on mobile, it can be used on tablets, and it can be used on the desktop, the laptop of the case can be. So are we together? Let me know that you are following so that I know I have my audience.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So moving on, why should you choose Power Apps? Why should you choose Power Apps? Number one, it reduces IT costs. I don't know if any one of us have an idea of what goes into a app development. What goes into app development? So say for example, you want to develop a business app now. You need to get a front end, a back end engineer, maybe a UI UX person. You get a product designer, a product manager. You get all of those individual skills, and then you have to now talk to them one after the other. This is what I want to do. This is what I intend to achieve. And then each of them will now sit down and then give you their cost or whatever it is going to take to develop that app. And then so you are looking at a very huge overhead to develop the app. But with the Power App, once you understand the problem and you understand what the solution should be, you can actually, with minimal costs and without writing codes, you can develop an app that can be used. And that is not to say that using Power Apps will not cost you something. It will cost you something, but then we are saying it's reduced IT cost. Okay. Now the next thing is there's a faster. Can you hear me? Sorry.
We can hear you, please. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So it's faster app development. You're using low code, so the app development process is very, very, very fast. It cuts down 50 to 90% of development time. Next is the fact that you can use it with different tools. Like I've said about the Power Platform, you have the Power BI, you have the Power Automate, you have the Power Pages. You can actually integrate your Power Apps into all of these other platforms and then use it for your process. Then AI capabilities. With Power Platform and the Power Apps, you have the AI that helps you to streamline and make processes simple and then straight to the point. And then the last word for here is easy automation of tedious processes. With the Power Apps, once you're able to develop the app, you connect it to workflows. That is using the Power Automate now. You can actually reduce the stress of getting things done within the business. So these are just a few of the reasons or the benefits of choosing the Power Apps, why you should consider Power Apps. It's low-code platform. You don't need much technical expertise. Although, depending on the depth of the solution you want to develop or you're working on, at some point, you might need the experience and the expertise of a pro developer. But if the solution is not something very massive, not something very big, you can as well do that on your own. Of course, you have to develop the skills, you have to learn how it is done. But the beautiful thing about the Power Apps and the Power Platform is that it's giving citizens, ordinary citizens, opportunity to create solutions and deploy the solutions for their business. You know, I read something a while ago. Gartner said about in the next 5 years or thereabout, we will need close to 500 million apps for businesses. Businesses will need close to 500 million apps for them to be able to run their businesses and then integrate different parts of the business. And the interesting thing about the research that they did was that 65% of the apps that will be developed are going to be low-code apps. 65% of the app that's going to be developed are going to be low-code apps. Now, what this tells us is that there's a future for low-code app development. And then at this point, I also like to say that the Microsoft Power Platform or the Microsoft Power Apps is not the only low-code platform. There are other low-code Power Platform that we can actually use or that are in existence currently. There are other low-code apps. I'm trying to see, I didn't put that into my presentation. I'm trying to get something to show you how interesting Power Apps is, and then the the quality of work that Microsoft is, and then the fact that Microsoft Power Platform is a go-to tool that you want to learn and gain proficiency in. Right. So let's move on. Now, we have talked about the Power Platform, we've talked about the Power Apps and how it can help us develop apps that can be deployed for business purposes. Now, I want to talk about the types of apps that are possible in the Power App. So there are two major types of apps that you can build with the Power Apps. The first one is the model-driven apps, and the second one is the Canvas apps. So you have the model-driven apps, and we have the Canvas apps. So quickly, I will just go through each of them, and then we'll now narrow down to the Canvas app, which is the object or the subject of our conversation this afternoon. Now, the model-driven app is also called data model-driven app. Now, if any one of us on this call is conversant with data analytics, then I'm sure you know what a data model is. The data model is just like a picture that gives you an idea of your data and how they are related, how they are connected. So say, for example, you have a business, you have your salespeople, you have the location, you have different things connected to the business, and each of them have their own data, which of course you have to make reference to if you have to make decisions about the business. So a model-driven app is built from the data that you have already. So it's a data model-driven app. So what it means is that how your data model is what is going to determine the kind of app that you're going to be able to build. So it means that you need to give more thought to your data model if you're going to use that to build an app for the business. So model-driven app design is an approach that focuses on adding components such as forms, views, and charts and dashboards to tables using App Designer tool. So you already have your table, you have your data. So all you're just trying to do is adding forms, views, charts, and dashboards to your data to bring your data to life in an app. So model-driven apps are essentially suited to process-driven apps that are data dense and make it easier for users to move between related records. So like I was saying the other time, so you have a business, okay, let's say like a sales business now. You have your salespeople, you have the location, you have the products. So you have, so let me use what we talk about in Power BI. You have something like your fact table and your dimension table. So you have those ones, and then you have formed them into a data model. And then that is what you now bring into the Power Apps to develop an app. And so it's just a tool that is created that helps you to move freely between the different data and information that you have in your database. So it means for you to be able to use or to develop a model-driven app, you must have a database where your data is being stored, and it is from there you are relating with the data. So for example, if you are building an app to manage a complex process, such as onboarding new employees, managing the sales process, or member relationships in an organization, such as a bank, a model-driven app is a great choice. So the model-driven app, again, as I said, is a data model-driven app. It falls back on the kind of model or the kind of data that you have. That is what informs the kind of app that you are going to develop at the end of the day. Now, the second type of app is the Canvas app. Now, the Canvas app, just like the word canvas, anyone that is familiar with art, painting or whatever, you understand that what the artists work on is a canvas. So they have the canvas, and then the artist comes with his creativity, his innovation, his ideas, and then he begins to paint, begins to draw, trying to put the idea he has on his head on the canvas. So the same way also for the Canvas app. So you are working from a blank canvas, as it were, and then you are just dragging and dropping the idea you have in your head, and then you're just taking the tool one after the other, a picture here, a diagram here, a button here, and then you're just putting them together to create an app that will, of course, be connected to your data source, and then you can be able to do that to drive your business. So with the Canvas app, you can design and build a business app from a canvas without writing code in a traditional programming language, such as C#, JavaScript, or whatever. So in the Canvas app, all we need to do is drag and drop. So you're dragging and dropping elements onto a canvas, just as you would design a slide in PowerPoint. So the beautiful thing about Canvas apps is, if you are good with PowerPoint, and then you have a good knowledge of Excel, particularly Excel expressions, Excel formula, then you wouldn't have a problem designing a Canvas app. And then, like I said, you can build the app and integrate it with your business data from a variety of Microsoft and third-party sources. And once the app is built, you can share your app so that users can run it in a browser or on a mobile device. You can embed your app so that it can run in SharePoint, Power BI, or Teams. So that's the beautiful thing about the Canvas app. You can incorporate it, integrate it with other tools that we have from Microsoft and other third-party sources. Moving on. So what are the common data sources that can be used for Power Apps? The common data sources that you can use for Power Apps. Now, the first one I'm talking about here is Excel. Of course, you know that some businesses still rely on Excel to capture their data, to store their data, to analyze their data, to visualize their data. Everything about the business and the data, everything connected about data is in Excel. So Excel can be used as the data source that you connect with your Power Apps to design, develop, and build your app. I'm going to come back to Excel very shortly, but let me run through the others. And the beautiful thing about Excel is that it's non-premium. So you don't have to pay extra license to use, or pay for extra license, I beg your pardon, to use Excel for your Power Apps. Now, the next one is the SharePoint. So you can also use the SharePoint list as your data source to build your app. This also is a non-premium data source, which means you don't need to pay extra money for license to use the SharePoint as your data source to build your app. Now, the other ones, Dataverse is a premium data source, and it's the big one actually. because the Dataverse is a Microsoft product and it's like a database. Is used to build a database where you can store all your data, your tables, your flows, your charts, and then it can be used, interestingly, with a model-driven app, and you can also use it for a Canvas app. You can use the Dataverse to build a model-driven app, and you can also use it to build your Canvas app. The only thing is that it's the Dataverse, you need extra licensing to be able to use it. And then the other part is the SQL server. So you can connect with different SQL server to your app, and then you can use that also to build your app. Now, of all these 4 data sources that can be used, the one that is not encouraged, or let me say at the minimum one that it should be used is Excel, but it's not encouraged because of certain reasons. Now, Excel is limited in the number of rows of data that it can accommodate. So if your business has long rows of data, then Excel cannot be able to accommodate all the data you want to input on your app. That's one. Another thing is that Excel is only limited to 1 user per time. So if you use Excel, for example, to build your app, only 1 person can view the app per time or can use the app per time. 2 people cannot use the app at the same time because of the limitation of Excel. And then if you are using Excel to build your app, by the time you are sharing your app with users, you also need to share the Excel file that you are using as the data source with the user. Otherwise, they will not be able to access the data, either to read from the data or to write to the data. So that's one other reason why Excel is not encouraged, is not ideal for a business solution. Another thing about Excel is if somebody is using that Excel file that you have used to build your app and has opened it in another system or in another location, and you have your app with you, you cannot use the app. You won't be able to access any information on the app because somebody else has opened the Excel file somewhere else. So because of these reasons, Excel is not encouraged. It's not a good data source to be used for building your app. So amongst all these 4, which are, like I said, that's the common ones, the one that is easy to use, is flexible, is fluid, it just comes with minimal stress and problem is the SharePoint. So with a SharePoint list, you can actually build your Canvas app, and then because it is cloud-based, your SharePoint is cloud-based, so anybody, wherever they are, can access the app. They can connect with the data source on SharePoint, and then they can do whatever it is they need to do with the app, and then business goes on. I hope we are clear with that. Let me get a feedback if we are still together. Let me get a feedback before I move on. If you understand everything I've said so far. Yes, thank you, Deborah. Any other person? Yes. Yes, thank you very much. So moving on. Now, we want to design an app. What are just a few things we have to pay attention to? Even though it's a low-code app development process, You don't need so much technical expertise. You don't need to be a professional developer that writes code to develop the app. But then there's just some basic things that need to be understood and need to be taken into cognizance when you are planning to design your app. And then the first one is understanding your user need. So you want to design an app, you want to build the app. What do we want our app to do? What do we want the app to do? So you as a business person that want to design the app for your business, what do you want the app to do? Are we replacing or automating an analog process? So am I trying to, so take for example, a travel agent that takes orders from people, helps people to book for flights and all of that. And then ordinarily before now, all you do is people walk into your office as a travel agent, and then they tell you what they want, and then you have to write on paper their details before you now go on to their the airline operators and then book their flight for them. So they have to do the paperwork, write down. Now, instead of doing that, you can actually design a small app as a travel agent that can be used to take information from prospective clients and customers that want to book flights. And then, so that's the first thing to do, understand the user needs, what you will want the app to do. And the next thing is the business requirements. So in designing the app, what are the things that need to be part of the app? I know one thing about app development is that it is progressive. Okay, so I learned something about the agile methodology of project management and how things is done. So you want to understand the business requirements. So what is the minimum thing that we need for this app to do? We might not be able to get all the functionalities at once, but at the basic, what do we need this app to do for us? So you need to understand the business requirement. Taking the time to think about all the requirements is key to having a successful production app. And then, like I said, the other thing is a data model. So depending on the size of the business, the size of data that comes in or that you are dealing with, then you need to consider your data, and then that will help you to determine what type of app will work for us. Is it a canvas app or a data model driven app? So your data also informs the type of app you're going to build, and of course what you're going to be using as a data source to build the app. And then again is the user experience. How do you want the user to feel using the app you are designing? I don't know how many of us have opened an app before, and then just opening the app, just trying to access the app, you feel frustrated because the app is just I don't want to say nonsense. What's supposed to make business solutions, business processes easier is making the whole thing more difficult. So of course, some of us, I'm sure some of us we have downloaded apps from the Play Store, whatever, and then the next minute you are deleting it or uninstalling it because it is not giving you the good experience. So in designing an app, you need to think about the user experience. And of course, again, is the user interface. How do the users, how do they navigate, or how do they move from one part of the app to another? How do they get their way around the app? I read somewhere that if you are designing an app and then your user needs extra training for them to use the app, and the app is already failing. If you design an app and users cannot on their own sit down with the app and understand how the app runs, then you have not done a good job. So you don't want to design an app that users have to now go for extra training before they can be able to get their way around the apps. So these are just a few things that you need to pay attention to while we are designing the apps. Now we are getting to the end of this the theoretical part, and then you're going straight now to the more practical side of this conversation. So before we go ahead to that, I don't know if anybody have any question, one or two questions. I'll just take one or two questions and then we move on to the second part of this conversation this afternoon. I can see two hands raised up. Alade Tomi, can you, okay, unmute yourself and then ask a question. Okay.
Sorry, it was a mistake.
All right, thank you. Pastor Moyo, you have your hand raised up, ma. You can unmute yourself to ask a question. Hello.
Jerry. I raised my hand before, but as you were speaking, looks like you already answered my question.
Oh, very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
All right, Demisola, your hand is up. Okay.
My question is that can there be a situation where we need to build a model-driven app and a canvas app at the same time?
For the same solution?
Yes.
Well, it now depends on where you want to deploy or how you want to deploy the solution you are building. It's either a canvas app or a model-driven app, really. But I can't say never. There might be situations where you might need to, maybe you want to test which one will work better, the canvas app or the model-driven app. So it depends, like I said, it depends on the business requirement and then what you intend to get at or what to achieve in the business. That will determine which of the two types of app you might need to build. Does that answer your question?
I have a second question, please. Hello?
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. So while building, who are the users? Who are the likely users of a model-driven app, and who are the likely users of a canvas app?
So, like I said, your business determines your end users. You can build a canvas app for your organization, people within your organization, and then you can build a model-driven app, the same model-driven app for people within the organization, and then you can also develop either way for selected people or people that are interacting with your business. So either way, you can build a model-driven app or a canvas app. What is important is the solution you are trying to get at or produce for the business. That is what determines who the end users is going to be. Okay, so for the example I started the other time of a travel agent that needs to take information from clients and then use the information to help them book for their flights. So if before now, what has been done is clients come to the office, the secretary takes down their orders as it were. And then when the secretary has taken down the orders, he now has to pass that information to his boss. The boss now is the one that will now go ahead to do the booking or whatever needs to happen. Now, that process can actually be digitized such that a simple app can be developed, and then all the secretary needs to do is, as the client comes in, the information is inputted on the app that is designed already. And then as each information drops, you can design a flow. That's a Power Automate part now, that as each information drops, the manager is alerted with an email that somebody has requested for this, and then the manager can then pick it up from his own end and then go ahead to do whatever it is that the client is asking for. So in that scenario, the person using the app is the secretary, using the app to pass information to his boss, his manager, to get the work done. At another time, you can also deploy it such that clients may not even have to come to the office before they make their bookings, and then the manager gets to see it from wherever he is, and then he can go ahead to do whatever he wants to do. Another use case could be leave approval. You want to, okay, so for example, in my organization where we work currently, although I'm trying to change that, for every time you need to take a leave, you need to take a form from the admin. And then you fill the form, you submit the form, you take the form to your line manager. The line manager signs, and then he passes it across to HR, who will now approve the leave, and then it comes back to you. So within the organization, you can actually design an app that manages leave approval. So you from where you are, your office, you can bring up the app, request for leave. Once you submit the form, it gets to your line manager. The line manager sees it, do whatever he needs to do. If he needs to approve, he approves. When he approves it, it gets to the HR. HR also checks it up, approves it, and then it comes back to you that your leave have been approved. So you don't need to leave your office to be going around to be asking your line manager or the HR to confirm if your leave has been approved or not. So you can design an app like that that can be used within the organization. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Yeah, thank you.
All right. So moving on, we're just going to, so I'm sure that there will be people on this call that probably have not interacted with the Microsoft Power App Studio before. So we just want to take a few moments to quickly look through the Power App Studio and then understand what it is all about. So let's explore the Power App Studio. So to get started, if you're going to use the Power App Studio, then you need to sign in to your organizational or school Microsoft 365 account. So if you have a personal Microsoft account, it cannot be used in this scenario. So I have a personal Microsoft account that I use my personal email. So let's, for example, you have an email that says so@gmail.com. Now you can't use that for a Power App Studio. You need a Microsoft 365 account that bears the Microsoft domain name to be able to access the Microsoft Power App Studio. And so once you have that, then you are good to go. Alternatively, you can sign up for a Microsoft developer account. Now, the Microsoft developer account is, so Microsoft have a developer program for people that want to get to familiarize themselves with their tools. So there's this program that they do for developers, and then Once you get on that program, you are signed up with a Microsoft account. And so that Microsoft account is what you can use to access the Microsoft Power App Studio. So once you have your 365 account or a Microsoft developer account, then you can go on to this website, make.powerapps.com. This is the address that leads us to the Power Apps Maker portal. So we're just going to go straight now to check this out. I'm coming. I'm trying to get that. Okay, so this is the home page of the Microsoft Power App Studio. So when you get on make.powerapps.com, this is where you get to. So like I said, if you look here, this is my own account with the Microsoft developer account that gives me access to be able to get this done. Then on the Microsoft Power App, you have the different environments which you can use to build. So once you sign up, you need an environment where you are able to access all the tools and the materials available on the Power Apps. So these are my environments. I have two environments here. I have the MSFT, the default environment, and then this other environment, which I use for development process. Now, one thing you must understand is that there's a difference between your development environment and the production environment. We'll get to talk about that later. So when you get on the Power Apps homepage, this is what you see. So you see to the left you have Home, Create. So on Home, you have the Copilot page where you can use everyday words to describe what your app should do. So once you can use everyday work, attendance, let's just say attendance app. If I'm going to use this now, I just need to click this, and then Microsoft goes behind the scene and then create an app. Create an app with that. And then you can, the other ways to also start the app, other ways to start your app. If you're going to build the app, then you go to the next icon on the left panel, which is create. When you create, so like I said, you'll see the different ways by which you can create your app. Number one, you can start from blank app. So that is a blank app where you are the one that's going to be inputting like a canvas, doing what you want to do. You can start from data verse. So you have already configured your data verse, which is your database. So all you're trying to do is connect the Power Apps to your data verse, which is your data source, which is where you have kept your data that you want to use to build the app. You can use the data verse. You can use SharePoint, like I said earlier. You can use Excel. You can use SQL to build your app. Just connect your Power Apps to your Excel or your SQL rather, and then the Power Apps go behind the scene and then begins to develop the app for you. Then you can also upload an image, and then Power Apps will convert it into an app for you. And then you can also decide, if you're a designer, you can use the Figma that you have used to design a template or whatever, and then you can start your app development from that. Alternatively, you can also start from templates. So there are several templates that we have on the Microsoft Power Apps that you can just use to get an idea of what the app can look like. So if you look at these apps now, you have the asset checkout. If you check under it, you see this is a model-driven app. The fundraiser, a model-driven app. Innovation challenge, a model-driven app. Okay, asset checkout. This is a Canvas app. And then, okay,
You can see your screen.
You can see my screen?
Yes, sorry for interrupting. We can't, we are just seeing the home page. Yes, we can just see it has come up now. Thank you.
Please check very well. Somebody has confirmed. Can you see my screen?
You can see it now.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can see. Shame.
Yeah, thank you very much. So you see here again now, a book, a room. These are just templates that just helps to give you an idea of the type of app that you can build. See, this is a Canvas app. You see the budget tracker, also a Canvas app, company post, a Canvas app, contact, Canvas app. So you have different templates that you can look at and then use that to gain idea of different apps that you can actually build from the Power Apps. And then if you go back again, you have the learning. And one beautiful thing about Microsoft is that for every of their products, they have documentations and they have videos that helps you to get to learn it from the beginner to intermediate to expert. So you have different videos, learning parts that you can actually take to get yourself acquainted with what Power Apps is all about. And then here you have the apps. So all the apps you have built, if you're just starting, all of this space will be empty. But for me now, because of the different works I've done over time, you see all the different apps that I have built over time, either as demo or as real life or real world apps. So this is the things you need to know. And then you have other components of the Power Apps portal. You have tables, you have flows, you have solutions, you have chatbots. So I said the Power Apps can be integrated with different things. A number of things can be you can use to integrate with your Power Apps. So we're moving on now to, okay, so we've done this. So moving on, let's now get to build our first app. Let's try to build our first app. So two things we are going to do today. We're going to build one app from Excel. We're trying to build an app from Excel, and then we are going to configure a SharePoint website and create a SharePoint list. And then we're going to use that to also build an app. Okay, so let's go to Excel. So if you're building from Excel, it's important that your Excel file is already loaded to Microsoft Office OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive, to OneDrive. So that's where you're starting from. So we are starting with the data. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. Good. So once you click on Excel, you have connections. So if you're just starting, you have to connect to new connection. So see the different connections now. Apart from the ones we mentioned earlier, these are other data sources you can connect to. Amazon, Apache, Azure Database, DB2, Dynamics 365. So these are all the different other places you can connect to. So that is if you are creating new connections. So depending on where your data is stored, that is what will determine which one of these you have to click on. So like I said, if you are using Excel, then you have to move your Excel file to OneDrive for Business. So if you are starting a new connection, then you click on create. So you create a connection to your OneDrive. I'm not going to do that because I already have a connection already. So I'm just showing us what you need to do. Because it will ask you to sign in to your Microsoft OneDrive, and then from there you can then go on to pick on your OneDrive, pick your file. But let me just go back. I already have my OneDrive for Business. So this is my Microsoft developer account. So like I said, this is my personal account. With this personal account, you cannot do much with this on Power Apps. You need this developer account to you to do whatever it is you want to do. So I click on this. So they have different Excel file that I have on this OneDrive. So I'm picking new list. Yes. Now, why is it showing me this? That list I created that list just a few moments before now. I'm going to go back to that now. So I'm going to go to my OneDrive. Right. So can you see the same file that it showed at that time? It's showing that now. So you see that this new list, I just did that 3 hours ago. But so I'm just taking that to teach us how to configure your Microsoft Excel. We're going to use that for app development. So let's say I want to develop an app that is to take in the details of staff, or let's say a clock in. I want them to attendance lists when they come in. So I have to create the table that I'm going to be using and the way I'm going to be storing my details. So I have the title, the first name, the last name, the department, the staff ID, and then the time in. So that was so let's just put in one data. Let's say Mr. Shola Adebayo. Okay, department, admin, staff ID, SSC, that's a senior staff 003. Clock in time, this is 7 a.m. Now, if you're going to do this, your Excel file has to be configured as a table. That is when it can be read on the Power App. So of course, I want to be that we know how to convert your Excel file into a table. So Control C, sorry. So insert, let's just do insert table. Yes, my table has headers. Okay, yeah. So I have my new list. I have this table. Now it's always good to name your table. So let's go ahead to give our table a name. So let's say this table is attendance 1. So that's the name of our table. So this is the table we're going to be using to collect information, and they are going to be using the same to build our app. So now that I have done this, I can, sorry, and save it. Okay, so I can now go back to my, so we are back to this place now. The Microsoft file we are using is new list. So you're asking us to choose a table. And let me go back here. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, Microsoft Business, which is an Excel file, and using new list. Can you see? So the table has come up now. So you click on the table, and then we'll go to connect. So when you click on connect, our Power Apps go behind and then begins to process of app development. Begins the process of app development. This might take a while, but it might just actually come up. Good. So once it's done, you have this welcome to Power App Studio. Just keep this. Now I want to show us something here. Now this, when you start app building from an existing data source, Power Apps automatically creates 3 screens for you. When you start your app development from an existing data source. Now I'm talking about Canvas app now. You are building a Canvas app. When you start your app development from an existing data source, Power Apps create a 3-screen app for you. Now the 3 screens are the browse screen, the detail screen, and the edit screen. So this is the browse screen, the first one. This is the detail screen. Now you can see all the columns we created. department is not well arranged. We are going to sort this out later. Then you have the edit screen, which helps if you want to input new details into the form using the app. This is we just put it here, and then once you are done, you click on the check to submit. If you want to cancel whatever it is you have done here, you click on this. Now, but if you notice something in the list that we created, in the table that we created, we actually have a row of data on it. However, that row of data is not showing in this app. Why? Can somebody answer? Can somebody give us why is the app not showing the details? Anybody? So not to take our time, I'll just go. The reason for that is because the list is opened. Our file is opened here. And because it is opened, we cannot read from the Excel file. So if you're going to be able to read from this Excel file in the app, then we will need to close this. So the moment we close this, and then we refresh. So let's refresh this page now. Okay, it's coming up. So let's go again. Self OneDrive for business. We pick our file. We pick our
Tommy,
table.
simply the quick one, please. Tommy, simply the quick one, please.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can I go ahead? Please, sorry
Yes,
for
please.
interrupting you. Sorry for interrupting you. There's a time you mentioned that if you are using the Excel, if you are using in this Power App, if you are using data from your Excel file, that once it's opened somewhere else, you might not be able to access it. Is it the same instance you're trying to say now that you're asking us why are you not able to see it?
Exactly. That's the same thing I'm talking about here.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So we go back to say connect, and then we wait for Power Apps to do its magic. Good. So we're back here now. Can you see? Can you see the difference the first time now and this time? The first time, there was something on our data, I mean, the file, but the app could not read from it because the file was opened. So that's one of the things I said about the limitation of using Excel. When you use Excel as your data source, once it's opened somewhere else, even if you can imagine, I'm the same person that opened it here, but I cannot read it from the same window. So that's a limitation about Excel. So now we have our browse screen. So we have the browse screen. You have the detail screen. It goes on to tell us everything that we have here. Then we have the edit screen. So if, for example, I want to edit anything here, and I want to correct whatever it is that is here, I can actually go ahead to correct it. And once I'm done, I just click the submit button here. Now, so this is just the first part of this of this. And like I said, today's session is just going to show us how to build the app and what happens when you build the app. Hopefully by next week, we'll take time to now go into customizing and then putting some other UI, UX effects on the app, and then every other thing that we need the app to do. So this is building a app using Excel as our power source, as our data source. So you can see that immediately we have this, the name of the table that we are building the app from is automatically given as the name for the app itself. So you already have attendance 1 as the name of the app, which we can edit. Okay, we can edit it. So quickly, let me take us through some aspects of the Power App portal. So if you look towards the left, you have this side. This is called the side rail. Now on the side rail, you have different controls. So you have the tree view. Now you have the tree view, you have insert, you have data. So the tree view is what gives you like the overall view of your app, the different screens you have. So this app we have created now has 3 screens. So we have the browse screen, we have the detail screen, and then we have the edit screen. And on each screen, the different items on the app is showing here. So on the browse screen now, this is the browse screen. So if I click on each of these now, please watch as I click on each of these and how it reflects on the app. So this is our browse gallery. That's the gallery. So the gallery is actually used to display data from your data source. When you use the gallery is used to display data from the data source. So if you're going to view your data on the app, you use the gallery. You use the gallery. Now, okay, look at the rectangle. That's just a small rectangle there. The search icon, you have the search icon, the text search box, icon, new item. This is if I want to add new thing to the app. Sort, icon for sorting, icon for refresh. You have the name, the text label, that's the name of the app itself. And then you have the action bar. So that's the blue rectangle. So the tree view gives you opportunity to see all the components of your app. As you are adding different things to the app, it comes under your screen, and then you can see it on the tree view. Okay, let's move on. Now the insert. With the insert, you can add different things to your app. So you can add, so the popular ones, you have the text label, the edit form, text input, vertical gallery, rectangle, date picker, button, all of those things. And then you have other things too. Input. Okay, so you have a button, a text input, display. So you want the app to display something, you can use the display controls. You have the layout, different layout, which shows or determines how your app is going to the overall layout. You know, when you're doing PowerPoint, if you remember PowerPoint, you have the layout, you have the header and the body, you have this content and all of that. So this is like what this is about. You remember we said for a Canvas app, it is just drag and drop. So once you have an idea of the PowerPoint and a bit of Excel expression, you're good to go. So you have the layout, then you have the media. Now with the media, you can actually add different media tools to your app. Image, 3D objects. If you want your app to take picture as a camera, like camera, you can add that. Measuring camera, barcode reader. You want your app to take or to read codes. You want to put a video. Now, take note of something. Why it is possible to put all of these things on your app, you have to consider how heavy you want the app to be, so that it helps you to, it informs what to add and what not to add. Because the more content or components you add to the app, the more time it will take to load the app, and all of those things that happens with app development. Then you have icons, different icons that you can add to build your app. You have the different shapes, you have charts. So if you want to display a chart, you can add that to your app. Now you have the Power BI tile, which is used to connect to the Power BI. So information from Power BI can actually be displayed on the app without leaving the app. Once you're able to connect the data from Power BI, you can connect it using the Power BI tile, and then your information as your app is collecting data, is getting it to Power BI, and then Power BI is sending it back, and then you can view it on your app. Then you have the AI builder, and then you have mixed reality. Then again, you have the data. So this is where you use to connect to your data source. So this is the data source we have connected to for this app that we have built so far, that you are working on. We are not yet done, but at least we have something to show. Then, okay, this is still media. If you want to add an image, a video, or audio files to your app, this is where you go to. Now, Power Automate. If you want to create flows, want to automate processes in your app, then you can use the Power Automate. All you just need to do is create new flows. Let's assume I create a new flow now. I'm not doing that here, just showing us. Then it comes up with the different kinds of flows that you want to do. Maybe what you want to do is, once I click a button in my app, let it send an email to my manager. When somebody fills a form on the app and clicks submit, let my manager receive an email that the form has been updated. If a customer signs up to the app and then drops information, maybe ask question or whatever, then you can automate that whoever is supposed to be the responsible officer get the information. So see the different kinds of flows that you can create. Add an item to SharePoint and send email, send approval and follow up via Teams. So these are different kind of flows that you can add to your app as part of the app development. Then you have variables. You can declare variables depending on what you are working on. And you have advanced tools and others. So this is the side rail. Okay, so let's go back to the tree view. Okay, so I've talked about the tree view. The tree view gives you an overall of what your app looks like, and then the different components that you have added to your app. So like I said earlier, when you're building an app from a data source and you connect that data source to Power App, Power Apps immediately works behind the scene and creates a 3-screen app for you. So we have this 3 screen. The Power App has created automatically for us. Now we can now do with these 3 screens whatever it is we want to do, customize it to fit whatever solution we are trying to come up with. So that is that's that. And then on this other side, you have the property bar or the property pane. So for each component on the app, there's a property that you can use to configure what you want the app to, the component to look like. So for example, like the admin now, I can decide to change the font. I can decide to change the font size. I can decide to bring it to center, align left, align right, or whatever it is I want to do. I can do that on the property side. Okay, and then I can configure my gallery. Now you can see that here my gallery is showing 3 components: the title, the name, and then all of that. So I can do different things. Okay, so I can change my layout. So the layout I have currently now is title, subtitle, and body. So I can change the layout to different other things that I may want. So if I want to add an image, so if I click that, so now it has given me an opportunity or a place where I can add image. So part of what comes into the app will be the image, the picture of whoever is using the app. And then I can decide to change it back to what I had before. That was the title, subtitle, and then so. So with the property pane, you can navigate, you can change different components of the app. And then here we have the feeds. So the feed here we have the last name, the subtitle, and all of that. So I want to do something here. Okay. Okay, let's just so that I don't waste time, because I still want to get to the SharePoint part, so that because there's an assignment I intend to get us to go out with today.
Hi,
So
Mr. Tomisi, mic check, sorry.
yes,
Can we
please.
kind of wrap up so that we have little time for questions and answers? Because the class will end by 5:30 and it is almost 10 minutes to 5. So if you can just wrap up. And the assignment, you can drop the assignment in a group. So for those that are not on the WhatsApp community, please send them, put it on the chat box. I am not on the WhatsApp community, so that we can send the link. For those that are there, the assignment will be shared on the WhatsApp community. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you
Wonderful.
very much. So let me just quickly run. Let me show us how to use the SharePoint to get this done. So if you want to save this this app as it is now, we come to this this place, call it the command ribbon. So you see this floppy disk, click on it, and then you supply the name. So let's just say, okay, let me use that light 1. I think my network is a bit slow, but it will come through eventually. Good. So now you must take note of something. When you start working, the first time you save is when you actually need to save. Once you are done, once you have saved your work the first time, you can keep working. As you work, every is it 5 seconds or 5 minutes? I'm not sure now. Power Apps save your work. It keeps saving it unless you now want to change the version. So let's quickly preview how this app will work in real life. Let me quickly do that, and maybe we'll wrap up for today. So 2 ways you can preview your app. You can go here and click what looks like this play button. You can press that, or you press F5. You can preview your app by using the play button or by pressing F5. So this is how the app is going to look like in real, at least the way it is now. And then another beautiful thing is that you can actually use configure your app for either the browser or a phone or a tablet. So we are looking at it now, how it's going to be on a browser. If I want to configure it to a phone, so we have samples of phones that we can use, and then it will show us how it's going to look like. So let's say you want to use Redmi Note 11. So this is how it's going to look like. This is how the app is going to look like if you're using it on Redmi. If you're using it on Samsung Galaxy, this is how it's going to look like. Let's go to iPhone. Okay, iPhone 8. Okay, let's switch iPhone 12, 13. So this is how the app is going to look like on phone. If you decide you want to use it on tablet, so let's just pick one of the tablets. Aha. So this is how the app is going to look like on tablets. So you can actually configure your app for either a phone, a tablet, or the browser. And then again, you can change the orientation, either landscape or so that's that. Okay, so going back to browser. So we are on the browser screen now. So if somebody wants to use this app, wants to add new details to the app, you just click on the add button, and then you can impute. So let's say admin again, first name in the hello staff ID SS12. Okay, time in 7:30 a.m. to Mr. Then once you are done, you click the submit item, and then it's submitted. Can you see? You're back to, so the new item we added is now showing here. So that's how the app is going to work. Like I said, this is just the skeleton, as it were. You can go ahead to customize, add different things to the app to make it exactly how we want it to be. All right, so let me see if I can I have 5 minutes to take us through how to use the SharePoint, because that's very, very important because of the limitations of Excel. So let me do SharePoint. So SharePoint is also an Excel, a Microsoft product that also helps you to create data source that you can use for your app development. So now in SharePoint, the first part you get to is to create a site. If you are just coming newly, you're using it for the first time, it will ask you to create a site. Now, there are two types of sites that you can create: a team site or a communication site. A team site or a communication site. For app development, the one that is usually used is the team site. So you have your team site developed or selected. Okay, I want to be sure I clicked on what I wanted. So you have templates from Microsoft that you can work with. Or if you are starting afresh, you can just start the standard theme. So you click on the standard theme, and then it will create a site for you. And then after you have the site, the next thing is to create a list. So these are different sites that I have created in the past. So let's work with this the global site now. Good. So now I'm on this site. The next thing I want to do, there are different things I can want to do on my site. Add a list, documentary library, page, space, new post, whatever. But for the purpose of our app development, we are going to be adding a list. So we are having a Microsoft SharePoint list. We want to create a Microsoft SharePoint list. Good. So now your list can be created from a blank list. It can be created from an existing list. You can create it from Excel, or you can create it from a CSV that you have already. And you can also create from templates if the template fits into what you want to do. So let me take us through the blank list very quickly. So what's the name of the list? Let me say, like the table we use for in Excel, attendance 1 again. So you give the name for the list, and then you create. Good. So we have our list created. Now the next thing now is to add the columns for the list that you want to create. So you, like I said, you must have an idea of the data you want to collect and what you want to use the app for. That will inform the columns that need to be added to your list. So let's add a new column. Okay, now we have a choice to determine the data type. So let's pick the first one, text. What's the column name? The column name is first name, trying to mimic what we did for the Excel, right? So first name, single type of data, single line of text, and then you click save. Your column is created. Then the next column, you are still single text, you are still picking text. What's the next one? You are using last name. That's another column we want to create. Single line of text, and then you hit save. Good. Then one, two, or three more. Then next one, you want to pick department / unit, single line of text, and then you hit save. Okay, last one now. It's going to be the time in. So this time you are choosing date and time, because we want them to be able to input the time that they come in. So what is it? column name, time in. Type of data, data and time, include the time, include, you can put this to include the time, or you can, so because this will create, okay, date and then time. So a person, once the person picks the date, the time also comes alive. Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you
All right,
very
so
much.
I'll have to stop here. So this is how you create a SharePoint list, which we can then use the same way we connected to our Excel file to create this app. We'll just connect to the SharePoint and then we'll continue from there. So we'll stop here today and then we'll pick up from here next week. I hope I did not bore you. Yeah, please. Questions.
Please, can you give them a minute to ask one or two questions?
Yes,
Thank you.
please.
Thank you
Yes,
so
yes.
much for this class. Thank you. Wow. This is powerful. Thank you so much. Please, does
That's
anyone have
why it
any
is
question
power
to ask? So
apps.
you guys
It
can
has
go
to be
ahead.
powerful.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the
hello,
floor is open for, we'll be taking two questions, please,
hello,
before we call it a day.
hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. We appreciate your time and the resources you have dished out. I got a few questions to ask. One, what's the clear-cut difference between Microsoft's Form and the Power Apps? And the first one you did for us on Canvas, if I had cost to go back somewhere to open my Excel and expand the table with some other variables, will it expand on the Power Apps, or I have to do anything expansion on my Power Apps created already without opening the Excel?
Okay,
And,
so once,
and
let me
last,
answer the first question and then answer the first one. So the second question, if you add any new column or whatever it is to your Excel file, and then you save it, all you need to do is, and then you have connected that file to your app, just come to this side rail where you have data, and then it will show you the data you have connected with your app. Then click on this ellipsis, these three dots, and then you refresh. So the moment you refresh, whatever new addition you have done to the file will be transferred to your app immediately. Now, the difference between form and app is that the form can only collect information, right? While your Power Apps, you can connect it with other tools on the Power Platform, and then you can share it with other people. Once you save and publish, you can share with other people that they can use the app, not just the form. Now, an app also can take a form. So you can have a form in the app. That's the beautiful thing about the app. You can have a form in the app to collect information, but a form is just standing alone, while the app adds other features you can add to it to make it a robust solution for whatever it is you are trying to achieve. I hope that answers the question.
yes, thank you. Sorry, the configuration, when you say on phone and on browser, does that mean that we can only open it on phone, or we can only open it on browser? Is that the meaning?
You can open it on either. You can open on phone, you can open it on browser, you can open it on your system too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll be taking question from Martins. Martins, please, can you speak up? Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. So this is a very good, interesting class from Robert Missing. You really don't can see the energy you displayed in putting up the information within the limited time. So thanks a lot. And my question is, I want to know if Power App can actually can use to build a combination of a form and also a preloaded data combined together.
Yes, you can use Power Apps for a preloaded form and then data. Of course, you know, all of these things that are talking, there's a beginner level, there's the intermediate level, and then there's the advanced expertise level. So it's as you grow up, and then depending on the solution you are trying to create, that is what determines the depth of what you bring on board in designing and developing your app. But yes, the Power App has a capability to incorporate a form and a preloaded data.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, we will be taking the final question. Olanike, are you here? Olanike, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Then we'll
Yes,
call
I'm
it a day,
here.
please. Okay, please go ahead.
Sorry,
My
please, before
question is,
Olanike, I think Elijah dropped some questions on the chat box. Olanike, you have the floor.
all right, thank you. So my question is, looking at this app now, like Opeyemi asked, this is looking like a form, like you using a Microsoft form. So I was expecting something like maybe the normal applications, maybe that we see, like how the applications work on our phone. So how I wanted to ask how versatile or how useful is we using this low code app, or what advantage does it have over, apart from the fact that it is low code and inexperienced people can build it? Don't you think the one that they use coding, don't you think it's better? Because I think it shows some kind of the interface is kind of advanced and it's easy to use, and it doesn't by any way look like a form, as if you're just filling out a form or something.
Okay, so I was say the same thing I said about Opeyemi. Okay, so okay, let me see if I can show you something. Like I said, just to answer that question, the Power Apps have the capability to actually go as far as you want it, like your normal app, the coded apps that we have. It's just that as you go, the technicalities that you input into it will also increase. Let me see if I can show something very quickly here. Okay. So the beautiful thing about the Power Apps is, yes, it's low code, anybody can work on it, but the truth of that is it can also compete favorably with all the coded apps that we have. It can compete favorably with the coded apps. What we have only done now is just the basics. You have just scratched. You're just scratching it. You have not even gotten to the core of it, because by the time you go out, we have not write any expression, we've not added new screens that navigate from one place to another. Can you see my screen?
No, your screen is not visible for now. So I don't
How
know.
about now?
Yes, yes.
Your screen
Okay,
is
so
clear now. You can see DBC
So
services booking app.
can you see what's on display now?
DBC
Yeah,
services flight booking app.
explain.
So this is looking like your normal app. So if this is a flight booking app. So if a customer logs into this app now, the way it has been configured, once you log in, your name comes up. And then you can then go on, add new booking. So it can navigate it as much as you add to it, as much solution you want to put into the app. The same way the normal content app development goes. That's the same thing here. So it's not just the form. It's not limited to the form. Okay, maybe I will have shown the analytics part of it this too. When somebody fill this form, for example, it automatically send an email that a booking has been done. So that's the back end part of this app. So Power Apps also have the capabilities that the normal apps also have, and then you can go as far as you want it to go. Thank you.
Mike check. Tommy saying thank you so much. Thank you so much for this wonderful class. We really appreciate. For Olanike that asked the question, I just want you to know that like this class, everybody has different proficiency in terms of this Power App. So Tomisin started from the scratch, and then we are going further. Do you understand now? So depending on the level you were before you joined the class, so we intend to carry everybody along. That was why this class was actually set up. So can we not jump the gun? I'm sure by next week again, we'll get additional information so that we'll continue to grow in our knowledge. Tomisin, thank you so much for this wonderful class that you had today. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your word of encouragement, and even your proficiency in terms of this lecture today was something else. We really appreciate. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we'll be drawing the curtain
Thank
for
you very
today.
much.
So I want to believe that we'll be set next week again, same time, 3 o'clock. Please, there won't be late coming, will not be entertained, so that we'll have enough time to actually cover more ground. Next week we won't be doing any form of introduction. We'll just go ahead with the quiz. After the quiz, Tomisin will just take over with the class so that we can have at least 3 hours exclusively with him. Thank you so much and remain blessed. God bless you all.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
Okay, sir.
Thank you for your time. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For Elijah, I was able to screenshot your question. I think if we don't attend to it on the platform this week, then it will be the first thing we're going to attend to when we resume next week. Okay? Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kevin. Today I want to show you how you can use Google